How's everybody doing? I finally figured out what is the death blow for the indigenous community and what is their kryptonite. Their kryptonite is DNA. I've seen so many videos with indigenous YouTubers who downplay the significance of DNA, who suggest that DNA is a pseudoscience, that it can't be relied on, it can't be trusted. Don't believe in DNA. Now, there's one thing that I would agree with them, like these Ancestry.com tests and 23andMe testing. There is no way that you could test one individual and from that one individual they can basically tell you who you are. That is impossible. But what is possible is that if you test people in multiple generations, like yourself, your father, mother, grandparents, or even if you have great grandparents on either side, if you were able to test those individuals, that testing would yield more positive results that will basically give you more of an idea of who you are. It doesn't give you the complete picture, but it gives you more information that you can make an educated assessment of who you are. So let me tell you why DNA is a real science, because we see it every day. Now, let's take, I'm sure everybody's seen the Maury Povich show. Now, I know it's a TV program, but, there's this testing with the fathers. Who's the father? You're not the father, that kind of thing. And that's done through paternity testing. And it is a scientific test that is used in courts every day. No question about it. To suggest that paternity testing is a pseudoscience, which is a form of DNA testing, would be incorrect and would be deceitful. It's a very reliable test. Fathers are either cleared or they're included. So let's not get it twisted that all DNA you can't rely on. Let's take the criminal justice system. Many criminals are sent to jail based on DNA that they left at a particular scene of a crime. And also certain inmates are released from jail as a result of DNA. So it's a very reliable science. It's just how you apply it. So this attack on DNA from the indigenous community is simply a way in which they can continue this narrative of claiming indigenous status. Because if you can't prove that they're not indigenous by way of DNA, then they could claim that they're indigenous. If they could convince you that the science is pseudo, then who are you to say that they're not who they say they are? So this is a ploy to discredit DNA, to make it appear as if it's worthless, so they can perpetuate this narrative of falsehoods and lies. Okay? So let me give you a elementary example of what DNA is. And we do this every day. Imagine you're at a family setting, whether it be Thanksgiving or Christmas, or you could be anywhere with family and friends, and you hear things like, man, you look just like your dad. Man, you look like your mom. Oh my God, you look just like her. You got her eyes, or if he's a guy, you got your father's nose or chin. The hairline looks exactly the same. Matter of fact, the same eye color. Now, you heard conversations like that amongst family and friends. That is DNA. Those are inherited traits that you receive from generations before you. Sometimes it skips a generation. Your grandfather might have certain traits that might miss your mother or father, and you may receive them. That is DNA in its simplistic form. So if someone suggests that there's no such thing as DNA, or DNA is a science that you can't believe in, come on. Use your common sense. This is real science. So let's look at the definition of a trait. Okay? And this is the medical definition of a trait. An inherited characteristic. So what's a trait? It might be the way you act. It might be the color of your eyes, the color of your hair. That's a trait. And these things are passed on, as this definition says, as an inherited characteristic. Okay, let's look at a biology online definition of trait. And this is a general biological definition. It includes physical attributes of organisms such as hair color, leaf shape, size, etc., and behavior characteristics such as bird nesting. That's just giving you a biological definition, but it's basically talking about things that you may inherit it from your family, the way you may talk, the way you may act, the way the color of your eyes, the color of your hair. All of these things are considered traits, So that's how we deal with it. Now let's go here with DNA. What is DNA? Okay. Let's see if we can pull up this definition of DNA. Okay. A nucleic acid that carries the genetics. Now, genetics, genes, that's what we're talking about. Genes carry that signal that makes you who you are. Okay? It carries the genetic information in cells and some viruses consisting of two long chains of nucleotides twisted into a double helix and joined by hydrogen bonds between the complementary bases adenine and thymine, or cytosine and guanine. DNA sequences are replicated by the cells prior to cell division and may include genes, intergenetic spacers, and regions that bind to regulatory proteins. So this is what DNA is. And this is what we deal with and we live every day. In our everyday life, we deal with DNA. So this is just a short video just to basically put to rest this falsehood that the indigenous community is perpetuating to suggest that DNA is a pseudoscience. This is just an attempt to promote the falsehoods that they've been doing for so long. And I gave you an elementary definition of what DNA is. It's not that complicated. DNA is real. These guys do not want to take a DNA test because they know if they did, it might come back African. And that would kill their whole gig. It would just kill it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what this is all about. They don't want to be found out to be African. They rather claim Pacific Islanders. Claim everything but Africa. Why? When I look at Africa, Africa has done so much for the world. What have to, and I'm not crapping on the Pacific Islanders, but what have they done? Why are you so proud to be one of them? What have they contributed to the world? But that's not the basis of this video. It's basically to deal with DNA. And these indigenous, so-called believers need to accept the fact. Take a DNA test. Prove who you are. Stop hiding behind a lie that DNA is not a real science. But you won't. Because you rather live a lie. You rather take on an identity that you have no way of proving yourself. Come on, man. Y'all need to get real. I'm out.